What's going on, people? So, got a pair of shoes here. Actually, I have two pairs of shoes here, right? So, anyways, a while ago, picked up this right here. I'm going to do a little comparison. That's why these are out. So, picked these up, right? Because I thought, oh, let me go ahead and try these Kayano 14s. I've been wanting to for a while. Some dude in a comment a while ago reminded me that I had never got around to doing that. So, I picked these up, right? And I was like, cool, got this checked off the list. And then these, as you can see right here, all the information and whatnot. These came along like a week later, 2 weeks later, something like that. And I was like, well, that's kind of cool. I am kind of a sucker for some of these like collaborational type things. You know, a little teamwork is kind of cool, right? Every so often. So I saw those and I was like, well, let's see what's up with that, right? So now I got two of these, right? Luckily, they're both different enough, and I'll get into that or whatever. But also, one thing I will say, outside of the side of the box here being pretty plain, the rest of it's got some decent branding on it. So there is that in case you're curious. It's not just a plain black box. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so this right here, as some of you might know, is the Adidas. It's not. It's an Asics. I was thinking about some Adidas because I've been having a lot of Adidas conversations since it's Boost Month. Let's start that over. This is the Asics Gel-Kayano 14 in the Ice Studios colorway. I get that Ice Studios isn't the name of the color, but I'm not really sure what this color is called other than blue, right? So we're just gonna go with it like that. And this should be a fairly quick review because I just did a full length thing on these right here, doing the whole breakdown and whatnot. So I'm gonna breeze through this just a little bit, but I'll at least still get you some of what you need, right? So anyways, let's go ahead and we're gonna start this thing down here with the bottom. Down there, what you're looking at is kind of the same thing you saw before on the previous one, so I guess that's a standard thing. But I do really like this little gradient style icy blue thing they have going on down here in the middle. I think it's just kind of a cool touch, you know what I'm saying? No pun intended. Now, moving on up here to the midsole past all that stuff, right? All this stuff looks like it did the last time around, just in different colors, right? And you still have that same squishy sort of stuff going on in the back. It's just that this time around it's yellow. But gives it a nice little contrast as far as I'm concerned anyway. So now, past all that stuff, getting you the normal two pictures in here that I show you so that you can get another idea of how these things look and whatnot, get the full picture, because, you know, between like the first couple pictures, I kind of feel like you probably see all you need to of this, but I'm a picture guy, so you'll see a lot of pictures through this video or whatever. But either way, there you go, there's some pictures so you can kind of get an idea for what you might think of these. Now, let's go ahead and we're going to do this comparison real quick, and then we'll probably just jump to like the personal thoughts, honestly. But either way, so like I was saying, the biggest thing about these things here is that this one, all this stuff on the side is going to be like this sort of plasticky synthetic leather type of thing going on. You can kind of tell as you look in there, it's a little more, I don't know, what's the word? It's got like a bit of a shine to it, you know what I'm saying? So you got that whole thing going on. Whereas when you look at this one down here, like around the toe box and all that stuff, it's just like the typical suede, right? So you got that. That's really like the biggest difference. And pretty much everywhere you see the suede on here is where you're going to see like that plasticky sort of thing going on here, right? Otherwise, past that, it's still going to be like the same standard mesh type of upper that you had on this, right? So it's going to be good for breathability and all that crap, right? And then as you get to the back, the other thing being that this got this here stiff plastic on the back end. On this one you don't. Like I said, it's just going to be like suede and stuff over here. So it's pretty much just like your standard thing as far as how this went. So if you want like the full breakdown and all that good stuff of what kind of makes it up, you could watch this one and it'll kind of get you in like the right mindset for what this is. You just got to substitute a few words here and there, right? It's like a Mad Libs thing or whatever, you know, just switch some stuff in and out. But either way, so that's kind of like how that thing goes. So I think honestly, past that, since you've kind of seen a little bit of this, I'm just going to get you some more pictures, do that whole personal thoughts thing, then we'll get into the sizing, and then I think we'll just wrap it up because I don't see a reason to talk too much about this since it's fairly plain, right? Personally, I was a little on the fence about these, right, when I first saw them. But after looking at them a couple times, you know, I mean, I do kind of like the whole blue thing that they have going on. At first, it just seemed like a lot of blue. But then once I got them in hand and I was looking at them, and maybe it was just because I didn't want to feel like I regretted it, I don't know. But I saw like, you know, the yellow kind of plays nicely with the rest of it. And I was like, this is actually pretty decent. That combined with the fact that I had just done a review on the other pair, I was like, wow, these 14s are pretty all right. So I was already kind of liking this as a model, right? So there was that piece of it. But I got these, I did the whole unboxing thing over on the Instagram and whatnot, and I was looking at them, and sure, like, I kind of prefer like the suede material overall, if just one for one. But for the look that they're going for here and all that good stuff, as far as like just the vibe of the whole ice thing, you can't say it doesn't make more sense to have gone this route. So in that way, it's like, I'll respect it. I kind of like it for that, but just as a standard release, right? If I saw both of them on the shelves, I'd go with the other one. I would, right? Because otherwise they're both fairly similar, except for like when it gets into the comfort, but I'll talk about that in a second, right? But yeah, I can say that I am not bothered by this release at all. I'm cool with the money I spent. It's like $160 or something like that. No problems out of me. So this one, it's pretty all right. It's pretty all right. So maybe you'll like it too if you find a pair in your size or whatever. I don't know. Speaking of, let's talk about sizing and all that stuff since that's kind of important. I bought these in a 9.5, right? Because most shoes fit me fine at a 9.5 since my foot size is 9.5. In the industry, we call that true to size. But anyway, seriously though. So the one thing I will say about these versus the last pair that I was talking about, these, past the sizing and stuff, they aren't going to feel quite the same because for one, they're going to feel heavier on account of all this extra synthetic rubbery leather type stuff going on, whereas the other ones are more suede, so they're overall just lighter. You do still have the same breathability, which for the most part, because of all the mesh, but they also feel just a little more narrow in a way, or a little less roomy than the other one. Not by a whole lot, I'd still say true to size is fine for most people, but it's just a thing that I noticed when I was walking around in them, right? But to me, again, the biggest difference and another reason why I would choose the other pair over this is just that the materials on those led to them being an overall lighter shoe, and I like lightweight things. As a standard, like just this model itself, it looks like it would be heavier than it actually is, so don't think it's like crazy heavy because it's like just the way the rest of it is overall light. It's just between the two, you know what I'm saying? Past that, the whole midsole thing that they have going on here, I really like this, right? When I wore the last pair, I was thinking, wow, I'm actually looking forward to wearing these at some point, outside of just walking around inside here. So same thing goes with these. I haven't worn a pair just yet, but I think that these will be just fine for all day. Like, they've got a nice stiff sort of cushion to them, it's not too squishy, not too stiff, but stability, I guess is what you call that. So I'm looking forward to breaking these out. I don't want to oversell it like they're amazing because it's still some super old technology. But sometimes old things just work out all right, right? I mean, that's why they keep bringing back certain other stuff, right? But either way, I think that's really about it as far as all I need to say about these here. So we're just going to go ahead and wrap it up because I do have 4 other videos that I need to record. So, from me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. I don't know when these things are going to be making it out to the internet or whatever, but you'll see them whenever you see them. Later, people.